Late breaking. This is WNBF News at 7.
After days of nonstop rain and flooding, the Waccamaw River is now nearing record highs. Just a little while ago, Horry County leaders spoke about what that means for the area. Connor McHugh is at the Emergency Operations Center with the latest on the Waccamaw River. Connor. Thank you, Caitlin. Rescue crews have been in Horry County, have been working around the clock to help aid people from areas that were hit hard by floodwaters. Amy Littman was there with crews earlier today. Amy. For those seeking individual disaster assistance from the federal government, early registration is now open. The application right now only applies to residents of Charleston, Dorchester, Georgetown, Horry, Lexington, Orangeburg, Richland, and Williamsburg counties. Florence County is currently not included in the initial request for federal aid. That is because the damage assessment for that area has not yet been completed. If you have been impacted by the floodwaters from the past days, you are encouraged to start recording, assessing, and conducting your own inventory of property damage. This could help you receive assistance faster. We will keep you updated if Florence County is added to the list here on WNBF News on air and online at WNBFnews.com. Right now, Horry County Fire Rescue says evacuation isn't mandatory for those living in the Lee's Landing area. I was actually down there earlier today as Horry County Fire Rescue and the Horry County Police Department were assisting those who did choose to leave today. Many of those living closest to the river were gathering their most important belongings and, of course, their pets and heading out before things got worse. Water is so high, it's actually allowing people to row their boats right up to their driveways. One couple who's lived in the area for more than 30 years says they've seen flooding like this before, especially during Hurricane Floyd. And they do not plan on leaving just yet, though they're already seeing signs of damage on the river.
All the docks that are usually, down, they're up like this. They're not made to be that way, and sometimes they break off. But so far, I haven't seen anything come loose. I've seen some that's going to have some damage.
DNR is taking note of everyone who is choosing to stay, how many people are in each of those homes, and if they do have a way out if conditions do get worse. Horry County Fire Rescue tells me they don't expect river levels to rise to record levels until Thursday and Friday. Today, the U.S. Department of Transportation announced the availability of $5 million in emergency relief funds to South Carolina Department of Transportation to help repair the roads and bridges that were damaged from the historic weather event this past weekend. The money provided will be used towards infrastructure repairs to restore essential traffic as the state continues to assess the damage. And if you want to take a look at the current road closures throughout the state, the Horry County Office of Emergency Management is constantly updating the roads closed throughout the area. Take a look here. The areas marked in the red are the current roads closed at this time. You can also find an updated list of closures on our website. And in Florence County, here's an update on what shelters are still open and closed. Today, the American Red Cross closed the Wilson High School shelter. However, the doors are still open at Lake City High School and Johnsonville First Baptist Church. Right now, the Myrtle Beach Police Department needs your help finding a man who went missing on October 3rd. Police say that Matthew Shear was last seen on Saturday leaving the Grand Strand Medical Center. If you have any information on where he could be, call police. In Marlborough County, the sheriff's office needs help locating this endangered man. Alvin Shannon was last seen Thursday in Bennettsville and left the parking lot in his 2009 dark gray Honda Accord with a South Carolina veterans tag. Shannon is reported to have several medical conditions and some may affect his cognitive abilities as well. The sheriff's office is currently investigating his disappearance. Coming up, more images coming from Columbia and the heavy damage the city is facing in the aftermath of the weekend weather. We have the full details of how the city and state are moving forward next on WNBF News at 7.
Your family's safety first.
The rain may have stopped falling, but the floodwaters in Columbia and throughout the state continue to rise. In the downtown area of the state capitol, the Congaree River is peaking to the highest it's been in decades. Water covering interstate roads, leaving homes underwater and washing out bridges. So far, 1,300 National Guard members are on duty, leading statewide rescue efforts. Governor Nikki Haley spoke today about the situation the state is currently facing. She mentioned that even though the sun may be coming out, the dangers of the severe flooding are still here. Haley also reiterated what emergency officials have been saying since the beginning. Do not attempt to drive around the removed barricades. State officials are currently monitoring the conditions of the Edisto, Santee, Black, Waccamaw, and Lynches River. Possible evacuations could be ordered for Florence, Marlboro, Horry, and Richland counties, though severe damage remains in many areas. The governor reminded everyone that the people of South Carolina will get through this.
I have no doubt that South Carolina is stronger today than we were yesterday. I have no doubt that South Carolina will be stronger next week than we are this week. But what I want everyone to remember is this is a time of faith, this is a time of strength, and this is a time of taking care of each other and neighbors taking care of neighbors.
The governor also confirmed that there have been 14 weather-related deaths since the severe weather hit over the weekend. According to the South Carolina Emergency Management Division, 4 additional deaths were traffic fatalities that were also weather-related, and 8 others involved drowning. 3 of the drowning deaths were announced today. Governor Haley is not the only person making comments on the recent weather event. Find out who else is speaking about the devastation of the floods on the Palmetto State next. Thank you, Robert. Take a look at this. This is video you will only see on WMBF News. Here you see Highway 52 totally shut down near 301 after emergency crews tell us the Lynches River began taking over this area early this morning. The road becomes completely submerged from the floodwaters. This video from Lower Florence County shows small communities shocked by the water in Lynches River. Many of these people were rescued by fire crews in the sheriff's office. Deputies tell us they used military-style Humvees and other heavy-duty equipment to help people get to safer ground because you can't go through these areas by car. Floods are also impacting acres and acres of unincorporated land and farms in the area. Some parts are looking like one big lake instead of a farm. You have to remember, just about a month ago, Florence County was considered to be in a drought. While this water was needed, I'm sure not all of it, these conditions really overtook the area. In Brunswick County, Governor Pat McCrory spoke to the public to give an update on how counties in North Carolina are responding to the flooding. After taking a helicopter flight and getting an aerial view of the damage, he was optimistic about the state's conditions, saying that we were very lucky the major part of the storm didn't hit North Carolina. However, just like Governor Nikki Haley, McCrory said that people still need to be careful in the post-storm stage.
A lot of deaths occur after the storms are over, where people put down their guard. We see this in winter storms and we see this in flooding. So this is the time we really need to be careful.
The governor also offered his prayers to the people of South Carolina, saying the state delivered 4 Black Hawk helicopters to South Carolina Monday and have been in communication with Nikki Haley. And yesterday, another politician made remarks about the serious damage done by the rain. South Carolina's senior senator and presidential candidate Lindsey Graham talked about the devastation in South Carolina on the Senate floor yesterday. He said everything bad that could happen did, with record rain and the worst of nature.
Thinking about the people of South Carolina is what I've heard from all of my colleagues. Senator Schumer called, the Vice President called, and I just appreciate all of your concern and your prayers. We will hopefully get this behind us soon in terms of the rainfall.
Senator Graham said he was in Charleston over the weekend and had never seen anything like it. Next on WMBF News, con artists are finding ways to target people who have been affected by the severe weather from this past weekend. We have tips on how you can spot these scams so you don't become the next victim.
Become a W Music for a better workday.
Tonight, the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs wants to warn you of a possible con artist who target individuals affected by natural disasters and are emotionally vulnerable. These scam artists lure consumers with deals to repair the damage that are often too good to be true. We have some tips you should follow up on when seeking help with some home repairs in the wake of the flood. You should get all promises in writing. If it's not written down, it doesn't count. Require a contractor's license and proper identification. Make sure they have appropriate licenses from state, county, or the city. Do not be pressured into buying. High-pressure buying is meant to keep you from looking at other businesses. And never, ever, ever pay up front. Make sure the contract has a payment schedule. Also, another scam to be aware of tonight. Georgetown County is getting reports of people claiming to be South Carolina National Guardsmen. These people have been asking residents to voluntarily temporarily evacuate their homes. National Guard representatives say this is not true, and they're warning this could be a scam. When people leave their homes, those posing as authorities could then go inside the homes and take property. If you experience a situation like this, you are asked to contact the Georgetown County Emergency Operations Center. If you are looking for a way to help a flood victim, here are some organizations you can check out. Some organizations are the American Red Cross of South Carolina, Feeding America, Salvation Army, and United Way of South Carolina. The South Carolina Emergency Management Division is not accepting used clothing. However, they are requesting that any in-state clothing donations be taken to a charitable organization within your community. You can see a full list of organizations to donate to on our website.
We're finally headed into a stretch here of a lot of sunny weather. Actually kind of a cool start for tomorrow morning. We're going to take the temperatures and back down to the upper.
So even though some nice weather, we still need to be careful, especially those of you who live near the rivers. We'll be back here at 11 for all of your live, local, late-breaking headlines. Have a great night, everyone.